Hey, I'm Matt.
And I'm Chris with MySoil.
And today we've got an awesome opportunity to help a homeowner out with this 20,000 square foot lawn renovation. Like you can see, they've done a pretty good job with site prep already. Chris, can you walk through some of the steps they took to get us to this place?
Yeah, so this particular site didn't have irrigation originally, so the first thing they did was kind of level it out, pull the irrigation, checked all the heads, made sure there was good coverage. That's a great thing to do while you have dry soil, exposed soil. You can really get an idea of that irrigation coverage. And then after that, they came through, leveled everything out, gave us a nice level surface to work with. So today we're gonna go through the process of how we select the fertilizer for this specific site, how we go ahead and apply the seed, the type of seed that we're gonna use for this site, as well as starting the irrigation system.
Perfect. So we really had a couple of options with seed. We had our turf type tall fescue as an option. We also had that 80-20 perennial ryegrass Kentucky bluegrass blend. What did we go with, Chris, and what rate are we gonna target?
Yeah, for this particular site, we went with the turf type tall fescue as our choice. The reason we did this is it's not the best soil. We wanted a little bit of more drought tolerance in this area. It's very exposed. And so we really like the idea of our three-way blend of turf type tall fescue that we have here at MySoil.
Perfect. I think it's notable that that is Blue Tag certified seed. It's also A-list certified, so that low input sustainable turf should be great for this larger site. Should help reduce our water need as well. So today you said we're going to put out seed, we're going to choose fertilizer. What did the MySoil test results lead us to as far as the fertilizer we're going to be applying today?
Right, so we did test this site about a week and a half ago. Our results are showing we just need a balanced fertilizer, so we're gonna go with just a 16-16, which is a common balanced fertilizer that's available a lot of places. So easy addition, easy to find for us. So we're gonna go with the 16-16, and we're gonna do that after we seed and rake in the seed.
Perfect. And then with that turf type tall fescue, what's the seeding rate that we're gonna target?
With the fescue, we're gonna go ahead on this site and target the upper end of the seeding range. I think we're gonna be right around 10 pounds is where we calibrated, 10 pounds per 1,000 square feet.
Perfect. Yeah, that should give us a nice dense turf. And these newer turf type tall fescues do germinate pretty quickly, a lot more so than some of those archaic varieties that we might be used to. So yeah, I'd expect to see some greening out here, you know, a week to 10 days from now.
Yeah, we're trying to target that soil temp of at least 60 degrees to get things up and going quickly.
Perfect. Well, I'm ready to get started.
All right.
All right, well, we're here at our spring seeding where we seeded this turf type tall fescue. We're right at 3 weeks after seeding right now, and I just wanted to walk through some of the challenges we've had and kind of the process that we've went through. Our first challenge that you might recall was our irrigation coverage. We had excess coverage in some areas and not enough in others. So we came in and really took control of the irrigation, got that dialed in. And then in these weaker spots that you can see, we actually came back in, weaseled those, seeded those, and then added a small layer of peat over top to help retain moisture. That's coming in pretty nicely. And so we're sitting here today ready for our first mow. Now, what are we hoping to accomplish with that mow today? Well, first we want to invigorate some extra tillering, get this to start becoming more dense, but also you'll notice we have various different weed species with different growth habits, and we'd like to just mow those tops off just to set those back a little bit. We will end up coming back in after the second mowing with a 3 or 4-way selective broadleaf herbicide and spot spraying these weeds, but we want to do anything we can right now to invigorate this turf and knock those weeds back a little bit so that they don't start taking over. We're going to be using those push behind reel mowers. There's a little less footprint. There's no suction, so less disruption of the seed that's remaining that still might germinate and emerge. Also, it's going to leave those grass clippings behind to provide a little bit better moisture retention and organic matter for our soil. Yeah, so just a quick summary: irrigation coverage, the need to overseed, and weed pressure were some of our main challenges here.
All right, let's get on our first mow.
All right. Well, here we are 6 weeks after a full renovation and seeding, and we just wanted to walk through a few things.
Yeah, we felt Tall Fescue for this location was gonna be the right fit. A little lower maintenance, lower input, a little more drought tolerant, and we just felt that it was the right fit for this particular location. This blend of fescue has germinated very quickly, came out of the ground quickly. We got coverage for this time of year, but you can definitely see some of the challenges that we had on this site as well with, you know, some of the irrigation coverages, the drier areas, and then we also have, you know, areas that are a little bit wetter with the turfs, you know, even a little bit of off color. So overall, I think it was good success, you know, on this specific site, but just some of the real life challenges that you may experience when you try to do your own renovation, grow in, overseeding.
Absolutely. I guess I'd just like to highlight again how fast this tall fescue came out of the ground. You know, compared to a traditional ryegrass that's going to come out, you know, 4 days, 5 days, this was right on its heels. You know, we had great emergence in that 6-day window, which impressed me with these tall fescue varieties. And then I just add one of the other challenges we ran into was pretty significant weed pressure early on. And that's going to be something we continue to combat here, you know, over this first season of the grow in.
Yeah, we did come in with one application of a 3-way herbicide on this, this about 3 weeks in, 3 or 4 weeks in.
It was right after the second mowing, yeah.
Right after the second mowing, we came in and it really did a good job of cleaning out, I'd say 75% of the weed pressure. You know, the 25% that remains, we can handle that. We can still come in and clean that out, but it did a really good job controlling about 75% of the weeds. And that was critical because we were starting to see the weeds start to outcompete the turf a little bit in some of the areas. And we really reversed that trend. And now we have good turf density across this entire location.
Absolutely, and I'm loving the density that we have here. As far as blade thickness, some people think that tall fescue always is going to have those wide blades, but these turf type, these improved cultivars that we're looking at here, it's a little wider leaf blade, but I really like the texture for this large area.
Yeah, it still has a soft feel to it. I mean, obviously this is still young, but it does have a soft feel to the turf, so feels good on the feet, bare feet. You know, it's just a great turf grass variety for this specific location, and anywhere where you want a little bit more flexibility and fertility, drought tolerance, and some of those other key components that allow turf type tall fescue to be the right selection.
Yeah, I'd say a success overall for a grow-in, but a little bit more challenging than some of the other grow-ins we've done. Really hope that you can learn from some of our successes, some of our challenges, and maybe consider turf type tall fescue for your next grow-in.